Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. It's 3:45 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. We're going to push some boundaries today. Let me say this. After sometimes when days go by and I check the views on my videos and they just don't get over like 150 views a day, I just start, I start to say screw it. You know what? I'm just going to talk about whatever I want to talk about and let the chips fall where they may. I'm not like intentionally rocking the boat just to get attention. I just start to say, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. If I'm just going to keep getting views like this, I'm just going to talk about whatever I decide to talk about. And I'm going to talk about manscaping today. Not just manscaping, but testicular cancer and why, in my opinion, I think if you don't manscape, you should. And I'm going to talk about a gift I bought for one of my, I guess I'll say this, my brother-in-law. And more important than anything, I'm going to have tips for women. I swear to God, a good portion of the women in my life, I'm not going to put statistics about the women I've been with, but quite a few of them did not know what are the tips I'm going to give women on how to handle a man's most delicate part. Seriously, I'm not kidding around. I was surprised that a lot of women, once I actually showed a girl that I was dating, this happened a few times, and they were amazed. All right, anyway, this isn't what the video is about, so don't get grossed out at first. This all started yesterday when I looked on Facebook, and I came across a post from a housewife, a woman, one of my friends on Facebook, and she was all disgusted and wanted some tips about, she's doing her husband's laundry and there were skid marks. I hope I can say that. And this just amazes me. I haven't had this issue since, if at all, since I was maybe 6 years old. Seriously. So, I was like, why is this happening to some guys? What is wrong with some men? Are you not taking care of, are you worried that being a little diligent in your cleaning, are you worried that's going to turn you gay or something? Or, why is this? Or then there was some other, so there's going to be some links down below. Because I just want to know, why is this happening? Because it does not happen to me. I'm not just saying that to, so I don't sound gross. Like I said, I think it might have happened when I was 6 or 7. Okay. So I did some research into this. There'll be some links down below. And, there were some different reasonings why. Maybe body hair, or men not being diligent enough in their showering routine. One thing about me, a Native American, I don't shave hair at all. I manscaped. I'm going to talk about that, but I've never, when I was younger, when I was about 18 or 19, I had some long hairs on one side, like 10 long hairs on one side and none on the other. I've always been lopsided in my body. And I have some longer hairs over here and none over here. But I don't, I have no hair on my back and very little body hair, and I attribute that to being Native American. If you look this up, there's a lot of conflicting views on this too, about Native Americans and Asian people, Eskimos, or Aleutians, as they're more, I think it's the more proper term is, and body hair. But that's not what this video is about. So yesterday, I happened to be going through my shower routine and going about my business, and I looked down. I haven't dated, and I lost Audrey a year and a half ago, and I haven't dated in that whole time, but I still keep up my routines, my manscaping routines. I started doing this back when I was 17 or 18, like they say. I'm not going to make any reference to my size or anything like that, but they always say trimming the shrubs in front of the house always makes the house look bigger. That's true too, but I think just out of common courtesy, if you don't manscape and you look down there, think about it. If you complain about why your significant other isn't being adventurous, take a look down there. Would you, think about it. It's about courtesy too. About keeping things aesthetically pleasing. I still do this. I'm in the habit of doing this, even though I'm not dating. I know this is very personal. And I just use regular, I have a shaver and a razor on my sink for my face. I still shave even though I don't have much of a beard. I've never been able to grow a beard my whole life. I grew a cheesy mustache. Maybe I'll put a picture of that on my thumbnail. And then I have a razor, a separate razor, and a separate shaving cream in my shower for that routine. And I started thinking yesterday, so I started going about the business. I'll tell you how I go about this. Up top, I'll do one side, I'll do the other side, I'll go across the top to trim it all off into a nice triangle kind of shape. And then I lift the boys up and go on either side. And as I was doing, I know this is very personal. As I was doing this yesterday, I noticed that I started thinking about testicular cancer. Now, there's going to be some links down below. Steve O, I found a great video where he gives basic instructions on how to check for testicular cancer. I know people in my life that have had testicular cancer. I've seen it on famous people, and it does not sound. It's something that scares me. And I saw a picture on. This is what they use, two eggs in a plastic bag. This is a very, very apt demonstration, and I'll get to more of that in a second. But I'll go over quickly in case you don't want to go down to the link down below. When you shave, you have to pull the skin taut to get this to get all to shave the hair. And I was noticing you're basically doing an inspection every time you manscape. When you're looking for testicular cancer, you'll see in Steve O's video, you have to actually grab the testicle and roll it between your fingers to see if there's anything out of the ordinary. He said in the back, there's the vas deferens. It's like a rope-like structure in the back. Don't be alarmed at that. That's supposed to be there, but you'll know if you feel something that you don't think. No, there's only a couple things that are supposed to be there. There's been a few times when like I said, you pull the skin taut to shave, and I got nervous a few times with what I perceived to be maybe a pimple or blemish or an ingrown hair or something. I got very nervous, and so it's good. It's a good, healthy, and not just for your significant other's being considerate of her, but it's a good thing to inspect to inspect your equipment. Okay, this brings me to the tip for the women. Honestly, I know that I brought this up to at least 3 different girls. I'm going to be 57 years old. I've dated a lot of women. Well, at least we'll round it off to about 100. And more than 2 of them, I've talked to them about, they get rather excited, and they're eager to try different things or to please. And sometimes they get a little too overzealous, and it gets painful. And I explained to them, and this is a perfect demonstration here for women. Men know this, but I was surprised that some of the women I dated didn't know this. The skin, you could pull the skin all you want. You could just tug on this. You could pull it. You could pull it with your teeth. Really, it doesn't hurt. You could pull. You see guys put clothespins on here if you're into B&D and stuff like that. It's the skin. The skin, it doesn't. There's not any significant pain factor there. It's what's in here. You have to be very when you're touching the round testes inside. You must be very careful because, like I said, when I was being intimate, sometimes my significant other would get a little overzealous with this part right here, and I had to tell her that when you're dealing with this part, the actual testes, you have to be very delicate. Just when I mentioned inspecting them, kind of makes me kind of cringe a little bit, talking about rolling around with your fingers like that. They're very delicate, but the skin, the skin around has no. You could go to town on that. At least me and everybody, the men I've talked to, so if you want to get a little overzealous, if you want to make eye contact with your man while you're doing things and really entice them, that's where you go to town on the skin. But you got to be very delicate when you're dealing with these two objects. All right, those are my tips for today. Oh yeah, so I was buying Christmas presents, and manscaping, like I said, I think it's a healthy thing too. It basically gives men the opportunity to inspect for testicular cancer. I don't know, I don't know, but for my brother-in-law, I hope he doesn't watch my channel. I bought him a shaving kit. I got to cover up the brand here in case I get any advertising. You know, it's for hair, beard. I made sure it said and body. You know, I'm thinking, this is terrible. I'm thinking of, you know, my sister, and, you know, and this is probably something good to check, you know, to make sure that testicular cancer, that there's always checks for testicular cancer. I don't know if this is something weird to buy for my brother-in-law or not. I was at a loss to what to get him for a present, so we'll see. I'll tell you guys in a video how this went over. If the whole room gets quiet when they open up the presents or not, I'll let you guys know. So those are my tips for today when you're dealing with the boys. Have a good Wednesday.